So on the blast option here, we are trying to clip the rough with our second bounce and go to green, and we're gonna have stretch out the max before spin applied, ball guideline to fall just right of that first tree to the left, and then we release and we're going to apply 7.5 bar of top spin and 2 left spin. The wind angle is what's going to decide what type of curl we're gonna play with. So with this wind angle, we're going to use our center line to be more close to the circle edge. If we do have a little bit more crosswind, we are going to reduce curl just slightly. The goal is once again to bounce into the rough and then to roll out. There will be times where you're going to get stuck into the rough, and there will be times where you're not gonna clip the rough and you're gonna bounce into the rough on the back. So this is a YOLO option. This is an option where the luck plays a big factor, and where we cannot really control where we are going to end up every time. Well, let's say like this, we cannot create it in a way that makes us believe that 100% of the time we will clip the rough and roll out, because there are so many factors with a shot like this that we do not really that is very hard to cover. But in the end, we are by the green, we have a simple wedge, and we could also be on green if we are lucky, and that's kind of the risk you are taking with this type of shot. You're never going to be out of bounds, stuff like that. You're always going to be for either a rough iron wedge or a putt for an albatross. So on the wedge here, we're going to play this one standard EB School plus 20 power 5 ball settings. If you do want to do the max top spin EB School for EB 7 and 8, then you're going to go with minus 35% elevation P4 number. So everything just standard, and I would definitely recommend to do the max top spin EB School here from this range, because that would most definitely help you minimize the risk of missing this short wedge. Because if you happen to get here, which is obviously positive, then we do want to make sure that we are getting this one for an albatross and not missing out just because we are sloppy with what I did there, you know, with possibly hitting greats and stuff like that. So an albatross here, perfect, would have dropped a bit more dead center, whereof obviously great from this short range is still going to drop with an Embringer. Get our guide on patreon.com/golfclashtom. You can also scan the QR code on the screen to go directly to all our packages.